everyone, my name is Tamara Martins and this is V with T, Vlogging with Tamara. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my first ever vlog and I hope you're going to enjoy it because on today's vlogging episode we'll be talking about how you can be graced, but you need to show people why you're graced. You can't just go around saying I'm graced, I'm graced, I'm graced. God has graced me. Yes, God has graced you, but we need to see that manifestation of that grace. So I'll be on today's show. I have with me my very very first guest, Doris from Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire, and it's so funny how we met. I needed something because I bought this body cream one time and it was so nice. I loved it so much. And when I checked the back of the cream said it was being manufactured in Côte d'Ivoire. So I was like, I need someone. I started looking around, asking around who knows someone that is in Côte d'Ivoire. So a friend of mine in church gave me Doris's contact. And then we started WhatsApping. You know, she was supposed to come bring me the body cream in 2020, but then COVID struck and she never came. And since then, since 2020, we've just been communicating via WhatsApp, on the internet and everything. And then eventually she came around and we definitely decided we had to meet. She was actually in Cape Town and I'm in Joburg. And I was so sad when she told me she's in South Africa. And I'm like, how am I going to see you? And she was like, oh, maybe some other time. But it so happened that after she finished her training in Cape Town, she now contacted me and said she's in Joburg and she's going to be in Joburg for 1 week. So we've been meeting up, we've been going out, we've been taking pictures. She came to my church and it's been just beautiful. She's a beautiful person all around. And I'm so happy that she's able to join me on my very first vlog because this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Everyone, my name is Tamara Martins and this is Vlogging with T, my very first vlog called V with T. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my first ever vlog and we'll be talking about controversial issues, you know, things I like to call as, you know, that I regard as challenges that are meant to be crushed, you know, by us Christians. And on this very first vlog, I have with me Doris from Ivory Coast.
Nice meeting you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're looking from. I'm Doris, all the way from Ivory Coast, also called Côte d'Ivoire. And I'm happy to be here for your very first vlog.
Thank you so much for joining me. So, like I said, controversial issues. What are your thoughts on that?
Controversy.
Yeah. So, controversy. So today, I want us on this very first vlog. We are Christians, right? So, I was talking about you earlier that we are mightily graced, you know, of God. But I feel that there are some people that, you know, they are being graced, you know, they don't merit this particular qualification or this particular position that they have. And then when they get there, I feel they now still need to earn it. Because if you say God has graced you with this position, you have this grace to be in this position, then that means you're now leading in that position. So you need to now, those that you're now leading, those that are now under you, you know, are now supposed to see why did God give her so much grace? Because some people just get there and they feel, okay, I'm graced, but they now have nothing to show for it, you know. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are, any man or any woman who calls himself or herself a Christian has to be perfect, has to be excellent, I mean. So if you got somewhere by grace, which is favor, you have to, you know, people will respect you because they see you doing what they're supposed to do, or they see you knowing what they're supposed to do. If you just sit back and say, oh, this is grace and I don't have to do anything, no, it's not going to work like that. You've got to be excellent in your work. You've got to be excellent in, you've got to walk the talk. Do you get it? In the office, in your business. And I think that's really in line with, you know, when Jesus told Peter, You can't even, with the other two, you guys can even stay an hour to pray with me. It's because Jesus could pray a whole night.
Yeah.
He could, separate himself, take some time and pray. So he had, how would I put it? He had that thing to be able to tell them that, oh, you guys can't even stay 1 hour to pray.
Yeah.
So if you got somewhere by grace, and I think everything we have, it's by grace.
Yeah.
You've got to work. I don't know, you can't be lazy.
Yeah,
and the whole book of Proverbs is full of verses that speak out against laziness, that speak out against slack. A lazy man will not enjoy the fruits of his hands.
Yeah. But also, I think we also have to, when you get to that position, don't you think maybe even though I got there by grace, okay, I'm now here, I think I should also do some things, like maybe take some courses, or the internet is full of even trainings. Even if you don't have money to go to that school to enhance yourself further in that field you've been posted to, or that you're now in, you can maybe take some courses. There are free courses online.
Definitely.
Or there are courses that you can actually pay and as in learn more of that position or that responsibility that you've been given.
There's something about, there's some people who've been talented, okay, and they've been picked out because of their talents. And there are some others who had, by working hard, let's not sugarcoat words, who by working hard proved themselves to be the best person for for whatever position. So if you find yourself in a space where you got there by favor, or by grace, by favor, by faith, faith without works is dead. So the internet is such a wide source of information and of training. So many things that you can get for free. Like somebody said today, you can become anything you want to be. Informations are available on the internet. Like for me, for example, there are a lot of recipes that I wasn't there when my mom was doing them, but they're all over the internet today.
Everywhere now.
So of course there's that touch that my mom had, which I can try and I'll do this, I'll do that, it'll work. I'll say, okay, this is the taste she had and all that. But you can't just, in French they say, tu peux pas t'asseoir sur tes lauriers. You can't sit down on what you've already accomplished in the past and say, oh, this is good. And in this case, even you're saying that maybe the person didn't have the track record. And when you don't have that track record and you are not demonstrating that you know what you're about, or that you're getting to know what you're about, it frustrates the people who work under you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they feel that, oh, they just brought this person from somewhere else. I deserve that position.
Exactly.
Even to win them over is a whole set of leadership skills.
Yes.
You can't just stomp in the office and like, oh, I was nominated, I was appointed, and blah, blah, blah. I was graced.
And then you now don't do anything. I think in that, for some people like that, they become like, it's bordering like tyranny. Like they just feel, okay, I'm here because the boss wants me here. They become more of like monitoring spirits. in Africa we like calling monitoring spirits, because you're just there and you're not really doing everything. You're more of like delegating things, and then at the end of the day you somehow sometimes even claim the glory, which I think it's so unfair. So we are basically saying today that if you find yourself in a position where you've been graced, you should earn the respect. You should also earn that position. People definitely need to see why were you put there. What value, what more are you bringing to the table? What leadership skills are you showing that people be like, yes, okay, I see. Okay, even if this person, okay, for example, maybe you read like administration in school, but this position that you're now being put in is more of like maybe something different from what you read in school.
Which often happens because sometimes you don't even work in the field that you learned in school.
I know of people that read law in school, and they are now in media. Like for example, they are now in the media space, and they are now maybe set in charge of productions and different shows and everything. Okay, you're a lawyer, you have nothing to do with media. Okay, now that you've now been put in a position to handle all these shows, what have you been added? Because I believe they were put there in that position because the bosses or the leaders saw something in them that could make this show or these different things a success. So have you learned on your own? Have you gone to the internet? Have you tried to upgrade yourself? Have you tried to go to school to try to see, okay, what more of production, can I learn? Because they were also probably put there because they probably had a passion for that, for everything. Someone like me, I read public administration in school, but right now I've been in the production, the media field for the past over 20 years because right from when I was small, I loved holding, when the first camcorders came out, when the first phones came out, I just loved to record. So it's not so surprising that I find myself in the media space. So now that I'm in the media space, what more can I bring to myself? Because I spent so much time in school, university, learning administration, but I didn't use any of that, but I think I did. I think I am. Because administration...
It balances everywhere.
It balances everywhere, but at the same time, there are those key areas that need media touch. And I sat down and I told myself, I can't just sit down here. So I did. I went to school. I've gone online several times. I've looked up courses, free courses, paid courses, and I've taken them and I've applied them to my workspace. So when you find yourself in a particular place where you've been put, don't say, oh, I'm grace, God graced me. Thank you, Jesus, for the grace, and thank you for putting me there. But also let everyone see your worth. Let everybody see why, God put you there.
So I have a particular example. When you shared the topic with me, you remember like question marks all over my face. I didn't really know, but as we are developing on it, I've had several such encounters because I've been extraordinarily graced in my life, in my job, in my career, even in ministry. And there was this particular training at work. Very expensive training, and a colleague applied for it, and she applied for budget from the office, and she was picked. Very expensive training. And then for the year following, I didn't particularly apply for it. I just showed interest for it, and we were two colleagues, and then the other one applied for it also, and I was the one that was picked. And I later learned that this was a whole frustration issue in the office, and I was deemed the favorite of the boss and all that. But it ended up that for that training, I was picked the class president for the class. And the class president, how does it work? You don't apply, you don't nominate yourself. It's actually people who nominate you in a closed voting. And so the names that come up with the most votes go on to the second round. And so when my name came up, I wasn't even surprised. I really didn't want to. And then before I could say Jack, they were on to the second round. And if you don't lift your hand to say, no, I don't want to, you're on to the second round. And in the second round, I was actually opposed to somebody much more higher ranking in another, another student actually. So we're all professionals working from different fields and all that. A colonel actually. And I won. And it just showed that the grace put me there. The grace kept me on. But I didn't slack in terms of excellence. I didn't slack in terms of class attendance, in terms of participation. And people are sensitive to empathy, to kindness. And I asked people, why did you nominate me? Oh, you have this NGO, you're looking after widows and orphans. We felt that we're interested in people. And we just felt that you're bright in class. And so that was just the point. But then after that, the people that wanted to do the training that were not picked, I was giving them tips on how to get the budget secured and to go for that particular training. So when you're selected and there are other people who are vying for that position, don't just sit on your high horse and be like, I was picked, I was graced, blah, blah, blah. Remember David and Saul. David never said, because I was picked, I'll lay my hand against the anointed of God. He said, no.
I'm happy that you brought up David, because David, after he was picked by God, he didn't just say, okay, let me prove myself. After all, I've killed a lion, I've killed a giant. Let me now prove myself I can unseat Saul.
I've killed a bear.
I've killed a bear. He actually proved himself. He was humble, and then he started leading a group of like you would say outcasts. People that were not deemed lovable again by society. He became a leader of them, showing them the way, the God way, and he earned those people's respect. And like you said, he never laid his hands. against God's anointed. He was just going about, he was just going on with his life and waiting for God's time.
Exactly.
Picked by God, but act with wisdom.
Yes, and there's another facet of it. Maybe you'll touch on it in another vlogcast, but the other side of the coin is when you believe you should be picked for that position because you're graced and you're not, and they bring somebody else. You know, when people don't pay attention, they become witches and wizards. Monitoring spirits because of the jealousy, because I felt that God would have given me this person. There's something about being at the right place at the right time, just minding your business. Keep on doing what you're supposed to do. I've been in my current company for the past 15 years, and I came in under, how do you call it? I came in as a bilingual secretary. Today I'm a communications manager. And when it happened that they needed to start setting up the communications department, they brought in an expatriate first. And then after that, they brought in 2 other people. And I always told myself, learn. And if you don't serve others, how are other people going to serve you? Just learn.
Your time will definitely come.
Promotion doesn't come from the east or from the west, but from God. And when I was picked, it was obvious that I was fit for the job. And then after that, there are other things where you're picked for training, where you're picked for this. And people always tell me, this is not to boast, but she knows everything about her job. She's really good. Because you've trained yourself. I paid for my master's. I did several training. I keep working. I'm a pastor. But you don't just, grace doesn't mean laziness. It's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite, because it lays a responsibility upon you. You must be excellent. They must look at you. In one of your Love Well Praise-a-thon, I think it was Bishop McClendon, he said that some people will come to God not because Jesus says I love you, John 3:16, but because they see the prosperity on your life. Like Peter, when Jesus was preaching and all that on his boat, he didn't touch him, but when he saw the fish in the nets,
when they see the success,
they see the success. So that grace, there's amazing grace. This is the year of the prolific church. There's such a responsibility upon us to live to the level where God expects us. So thank you so much. I mean, the topic, like I don't know if it's a cold, I feel a bit shivered, but I feel that we live not outside the world. We walk amongst people. And even in church, we work amongst people. We're the reflection of God's glory. So it's so much important for us when we're picked by grace, when we're set somebody to shine as a burning and shining light, but with so much humility. With so much humility, because when you have that level of grace, you must be careful not to trample on people. There's a verse that I like so much in the Bible. The Bible says that il ne brisera pas le roseau cassé. He will not break the head that's already broken. There are people around you, when you see them broken, when you see them in that fit of life, don't go and break them. Let your words uplift them. Are you teaching people what you've learned? Are you learning to uplift people? Are you thinking that person in the competition, I've been set by grace, the person wasn't come and take me? Don't be a bossy person. Nobody loves, nobody. I mean, I look at Pastor Chris and he's so approachable. My pastor, Pastor Kofi Tesere, amazing love. Are you that kind of person that people want to relate to, want to become like, to when they come into the office, they want to come and say hello to you? Are you the person that they must apply to come and greet you in the morning?
No, what if they don't even want to see you? They're looking for ways to avoid you.
His High Excellency, Mr. Mrs. Governor, High Personal Archbishops.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Very insightful, very informative, and I believe you all out there are blessed. So thank you so much for being in my vlog. So
and just wrap up a little one. I got one of the girls working under me who just clicked her permanent contract at the moment, and when she was picked to pursue her internship, people were like, why? Oh, always people, why? I just told her, stay focused, don't be distracted, work and show yourself the best amongst the lot, because you got a chance that some other people didn't get. And today, everybody will recognize that this girl is so hardworking.
She deserved it. In other words,
you may sleep later than others. Yes, don't think that grace will mean that you sleep every day at 5 p.m. or you watch TV till 2 a.m. No. Sometimes you sleep later than others. Sometimes you write your paper more than others, so that your case is airtight. I think that's the thing. Your case has to be airtight. When people look at you, there's no cracks in the nomination. There's no cracks in the appointments. So I just wanted to end there.
Beautiful. That was so nice. Thank you so much for joining us on our first vlog. And just to wrap everything a little bit up, that she said is, yes, you're graced, but also show people by example via humility and let God's love shine through you. Pastor always says, let people see Jesus
In our
eyes. Jesus must be shown, by our life, the way we are living our lives and everything. So thank you so much for joining us. Until I see you next time. Bye.
God bless you.
So we are going there for some fine dining, talk more, get to know each other more. We've only known on WhatsApp, so now great person.
If you don't know her, get to know her.
Cheers. Cheers. V with T, it's a vlog that talks about all Christian issues, controversial issues, that Pastor has told us over and over again that we are champions, we are more than conquerors, we are victors. So we have the victory over every circumstance and situation that we might find ourselves in. So let me know what you think about my first vlog. Send in your questions, your comments, your opinions. I want to hear it. Let's be kind, let's be nice. Just let me know what you think, and then I'll be sure to get back to everyone one by one. And subscribe to my channel. We're going to be talking about everything. Just let me know on singlehood, on marriage, on anything you want to talk about. Let's talk about molestation. Let's talk about those topics that we as Christians find it so hard sometimes to talk about. I'm ready, I'm game, and I'll bring in my friends, experts, and whatever I need to do to tackle that particular topic or situation or challenge or question you may have. Thank you so much. Until I see you next time. Bye.